What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. Join us now as we look at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including WWE worried Sami Zayn is getting too popular, a health update on Jerry Lawler, Alexa Bliss is taking a break off television, Batista and Booker T officially retire from pro wrestling, is Ryback coming back to wrestling, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out our new channel, Wrestlelamia Shorts. Now let's do the intro and get straight into our first story. Our first story looks at, is WWE worried Sami Zayn is getting too popular? Atop today's news, is Sami Zayn too popular? Well, Dave Meltzer is reporting that there's concern in WWE that Sami Zayn's popularity could eclipse Cody Rhodes' upcoming WrestleMania match against undisputed champion Roman Reigns, which is why the WWE ran the well-received promo between Reigns' tribal counsel Paul Heyman and the American Nightmare. Meltzer commented on the Wrestling Observer Radio that the promo was done because they were well aware of how hot the Sami Zayn thing is, and it was imperative to not have this WrestleMania main event angle feel secondary. So they knew they had to do something, and they did. Zayn's popularity does pose a little problem if he loses to Roman Reigns at Elimination Chamber and the fans resent it. Could they react when Batista was pushed ahead of white-hot Daniel Bryan in 2014, resulting in WWE having to change its plans for Batista to wrestle Randy Orton at WrestleMania 30? Well, the fan backlash did lead to WWE inserting Daniel into the match and having them defeat Orton for the WWE Heavyweight Championship. But is this really the same thing? As we noted yesterday, Cody did prove himself to be a major draw both in live event ticket sales and in merchandise. It seems odd that WWE would run an angle building up to Cody's WrestleMania match when it should be promoting Sami Zayn's Elimination Chamber match. Otherwise, it makes Zayn's title shot look like an afterthought. What do you guys think? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, Jerry Lawler health update. A time for a health update concerning Jerry the King Lawler. As noted in a previous news video, the WWE Hall of Famer was taken to hospital on 6 February 2023, and now more details are coming in as Memphis' Action News 5 reported on the 7th February that Memphis wrestling legend Jerry Lawler is recovering after having a stroke at his home in Fort Myers, Florida. Lawler, 73, has undergone surgery and is recovering at a Florida hospital. But this isn't the first time Mr. Lawler has suffered a stroke, and it's also not the first time he's had a medical crisis. Action News noted that Lawler also suffered a stroke in 2018 and in 2012 had a heart attack on live television. So far, there is still limited news on the King's condition, but his friend Dutch Mantel tweeted on Tuesday, "Update on Jerry Lawler. It's been confirmed that Jerry Lawler has suffered a stroke last night in Fort Myers, Florida. He was rushed to a local hospital where he underwent a medical procedure. His latest condition is actually good and he is expected to recover. Good news." JR, worked alongside the King for many years in WWE's broadcast booth, tweeted some encouraging news. "I spoke very briefly with Jerry Lawler tonight. He's obviously weak, but I could understand his affected speech. Jerry's prognosis is positive, but he needs all our thoughts and prayers." I will continue monitoring this story and send all our thoughts and prayers to Mr. Lawler for a speedy and complete recovery. Next up, Alexa Bliss taking a break off television. Now, there's a wild rumor making the rounds that Alexa Bliss is off WWE TV. Let's look at the rumor and then address how likely it is that Little Miss Bliss is taking time off from WWE. PW Insider's Mike Johnson was reporting that Bliss hasn't been at any WWE events since the Rumble and she's going to be off television. For how long remains to be seen. However, wrestling news is always difficult to pin down due to the business work nature and the tendency for journalists to misinterpret things. In this instance, fans should give things time before they get the idea that Bliss is taking any significant amount of time off. Consider that number 1, Alexa Bliss has been off TV for just 2 weeks. Number 2, Bliss has just finished a program with Bianca Belair and there's no need for her to be on TV right now as 6 other superstars are vying for a shot at Belair. And number 3, the WWE may be considering moving Bliss to SmackDown in order to reunite her with Bray Wyatt. The Maximum Male models recently moved from SmackDown to Raw, so could this be her trade into the Blue brand? Now, in any event, we have to mention this tweet from Bliss herself. "Don't believe things you read unless it comes directly from me. It's not real." It doesn't make sense for WWE to keep Alexa off TV for too long. After all, the WWE seems to be moving her back to Raw with Bray Wyatt. Why weaken her momentum by benching her? Next up, Toxic Attraction split up. A bad news for Toxic Attraction, aka Gigi Dolan and JC Jane fans, as the team imploded on the 7th February edition of NXT. The former NXT Women's Tag Team Champions appeared on Bayley's Ding Dong Hello talk segment, initially upset with each other over their recent appearance in the triple threat match for the NXT Women's Championship. The two appeared to reconcile, only for JC to attack Gigi Dolan, super kicking her and planting her into the door set up in the ring for the talk segment. Some fans compared this breakup to the classic angle where Michaels turned on Rocco's tag team partner Marty Jannetty during an episode of Brutus Beefcake's talk show The Barber Shop. Thankfully for Gigi, JC only planted her into the door and not through a window as Michaels did. Still, that kick was brutal. Next up, Batista and Booker T officially retire from pro wrestling. Two retirement stories concerning two legends, as first is an official retirement announcement while the second is a confirmation that the wrestler has retired. Let's look at the first situation, which involves a wrestler who recently competed at 2023's Royal Rumble, as Booker T announced his retirement on his Hall of Fame podcast. I'm going to tell you right now, I think that was the last time people are going to see me in the ring. A reality of wrestling, I'm going to work with my students, but as far as putting my boots on again, that was the last time. It's kind of sad too, I'm kind of choked up about it a little bit. Booker, a two-time Hall of Famer, looked back at his recent appearance noting, "It was a great exit for me. I don't think it could have been better than that, but putting the old boots up, it's kinda hard. I think that was the last time putting the boots on, getting back in the ring at that level. I think that's the last time I really want to do it at that level. I don't think I can get better than that, seriously. I want to thank all the fans for that moment." The second is Dave Batista, who announced his retirement following his match against Triple H at WrestleMania 35. Batista recently spoke with Jimmy Fallon about retiring as Drax the Destroyer character in the upcoming Marvel movie Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, comparing it to his retirement as a wrestler. "It's the perfect exit. We all had those perfect character arcs and such a storybook ending. I constantly related to the way I ended my wrestling career. I ended it on a storybook note. I would never go back and tarnish that. It's the same with this." Next up, Indi Hartwell moving to the main roster. Could NXT superstar Indi Hartwell be on the main roster soon? Well, Hartwell has had a wildly popular romance storyline with Dexter Lumis on NXT, and she could be getting the call-up. Meltzer recently noted on the Wrestling Observer Radio that Indi got a tryout tonight. Not a tryout, she got a main roster look tonight. So we'll see. In light of the Angle's success and Triple H's willingness to keep gimmicks from NXT on the main roster, it's possible he could revisit the romance storyline on Raw with Dexter. Would you guys like to see these two lovebirds reunite on the main roster? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, Trish Stratus wants this WWE legend inducted into the Hall of Fame. Trish Stratus wrestled some of the best wrestlers during a Hall of Fame career, and now she's looking for WWE to induct two of them into the Hall of Fame. She appeared on Casual Conversations with the Classic podcast and said, "The aforementioned Mickie James, that's for sure. I'd like to see Victoria get inducted. Soon would be great. I think she's well deserving. I think she's underrated." She explained why she thinks Victoria deserves to be honoured with an induction, saying, "I do so many interviews and people ask me about different feuds and different rivalries. I feel like when we were competing, women's wrestling was just turning the corner as far as being taken serious. Those matches with her that people see like, oh, this is actually legit and this is a viable part of the entire show. So yeah, Victoria for Hall of Fame." Victoria left WWE in 2009 after two women's championship reigns, enjoying renewed success in TNA aka Impact, where she played a key role in its Knockouts division. Do you think both Victoria and Mickie belong in the Hall of Fame? Let us know in the comments down below. Finally, is Ryback coming back to wrestling? Last but not least, is the wrestling world's well-known loudmouth Ryback eyeing a program in All Elite Wrestling? The man who's taken complaining to new levels with his constant criticism of WWE, Triple H, CM Punk, and seemingly half the industry, was recently interviewed by YouTuber Muscleman Malcolm. The big guy told Malcolm that he's finally secured the trademark for Ryback and that he's waiting for the paperwork to come in. He said he's healthy now and he plans on wrestling again once his trademark paperwork comes through. As to who he wants to wrestle and where, he remarked, "There's a lot of guys that I have my eye on. Wardlow piques my interest, and I think there's a big opportunity right there. I'm a fan of what he's doing and what he's done. I like people that can come from nothing and get people on their side. That caught my eye early on, so he's a homegrown AEW talent that hasn't been in the ring with anyone like Ryback yet." Would you guys like to see Ryback come back to wrestling? Judging from his poll, probably not, but let us know in the comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.